Oh, whoops. Howdy everyone, Cowy, your average sim racer here. We are back for round 5 of season 1 of the Supercars or Gen 3 series, and it looks like we're going to get a wet start to this race. I was having a look at the weather forecast a little bit before I come out to do quali, and I think it's about a 40 or 50% chance of rain at the start of the race, getting up to 60% as the race goes on. But as you can see in my mirrors, there's rooster tails, so that means wet tyres, wet setup.
Track temperature's decreasing. It's now 16 Celsius.
It's also cold on track and cold rubber. Oh, did not like that at all. We've gone out on the VRS quali setup. I have not driven this setup at all, so I have no idea, and she's pretty flicky in the rear. I might move the bias forward a couple of clicks just in case. But I think because the car's so light in the rear with what fuel will be on, not 10 litres, the rear of the car is really light. But we'll see how we go. Unfortunately, guys, this week I've, well, guys and girls, I should say, I've had some issues with my motion, and I've had the rig apart for a few days. So that's why I haven't got a track guide out here for Magny Cours. I do apologise. I fully intended to do it, and I jumped on the rig a couple of times to try and get it done. And, you know, I was having issues with the motion and a couple other things that was making it very hard to actually do the track guide. So I'm sorry I didn't get it out there this week, but I'm hoping I've got it all fixed. Oh Jesus, we are sliding around everywhere. I found it's better to go back to 4th for that corner for quali. Sort of getting little shudders through the rig, and I'm hoping that's just the, you know, feeling the bits where the car sort of starts to grip up, and it's not the motion playing up on me again. Okay, and I think that's the other thing, is this setup. Oh, I'm going to get a 1X for losing control. Wow, or 2X I should say. That's going to be another thing about tonight too, trying to actually, you know, minimise the damage to my safety rating, because the last couple of weeks she's certainly taken a hit. Yeah, I probably should have done some laps on this setup, I reckon, because she's pretty lively in the rear. I know the wet will have a bit to do with that, but it's a different gear ratio, I think, as well. Look at that. Okay. I'll tell you what, I might actually have a look at the throttle map and see what that's at.
The leader has just done a 154.88.
It's on 4 at the moment. I might take that throttle map down.
The leader's just done a 154.00.
Well, I'm going to put it at 1 and see if that helps, because the car's just sliding out everywhere. Oh, it's going to be another 2X. Wow. Okay, stay away from the inside of those corners. All right, let's see how we go. So already, I think it's half the incident points you get in quali count.
10.062.
Oh, this is all over the shop. Wow. I definitely should have done some laps on this setup, or I should have just gone out on the race setup. Let's see if we can get a lap down. That's what you get when you blindly jump on a setup without thinking about it.
We have about 1 lap of fuel left.
Sector 1 is 2.3 off the pace.
Oh, no, that's deadly. Alright. Nah, well, looks like we're not qualifying in this setup. Because that just wrecked that lap. Wow. So, I've done some work in the wet setup, but I hadn't done any laps in that qualifying setup, and I really should have. Alright, let's go straight on the wet setup. But yeah, I've moved the bias forward then, and I still just lost the rear. So, looks like we're starting right at the back, so it's going to be, yeah, she's horrible. But yeah, I'm not going to get a quali in.
Fastest lap for Clark.
So,
1:27.
yeah, I should have went out on the race setup, I think. But, oh well, these things happen. My safety rating and my iRating, I've taken a bit of a hit so far since I've jumped into the Gen 3 cars, but I think part of it is I haven't had a lot of practice, so I mean, over the Christmas break I was fairly busy with the music and all that, and sort of spending time with the family, so I didn't really get on the rig much then. If I was on the rig, it was more sort of people having a go. You know, and then, you know, I've had some issues with the motion sort of playing up on me a little bit and cutting out. And I used to have my PC on the other side there, and so I spent you know, a few days last week sort of moving it over. Yeah, swap you some internet. Yeah, I'd say that, Di. You've been struggling with that side of it, but yeah, it's been a pain in the butt. But I moved the PC over to the other side. I've basically isolated the power for the motion, so it runs through a separate power from another line off the house. So it's not the same circuit. So I'm hoping that fixes everything, but I'm not going to know. We'll see if it, you know, cuts out on me or not. But being a wet start to this race, we're going to start P20 or something at the moment, so we're going to have all the trouble in front of us. But yeah, that's what you go for, jumping in a setup that you haven't given a try before. But just with no weight in the rear of the car, it was just sliding around everywhere. I have done some laps in the wet here, done a bit of practice, so I have some idea what I was going to do. I was, yeah, Trav, you car number 1, I think, in this server. So, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think it was only about 45, 46 people that signed up in total for tonight. Let's have a look at the weather forecast before we go out there. It's saying no rain at the moment, 25% chance, but I reckon the track's still going to be wet. So there might be a bit of a strategy call here, but I can't see you driving on slicks with the track still wet like that. If it's suddenly dry, then that's not real good for iRacing, but...
Okay, Andrew, we'll be in the mid-pack here. We're expecting you to finish in position 14. We expect P20 soon.
Alright, well, we do have motion.
You're on a wet tyre.
We are on a wet tyre. What we might do is just change.
1,855.
We see what the weather was like.
I feel today, look for opportunity.
I haven't got a button set up just for the weather. 25% chance that it's going to rain, so I think we have to stay on wets.
Anyone else on a wet tyre?
We're waiting on 2 cars to grid.
Yep.
Yeah, I've done the same.
Good.
This will be a standing start. Stay calm, focus.
Let's go.
I don't think there'd be many brave souls that have gone for a dry tyre here. We're going to take it nice and easy. I don't want any incidents. So we'll sneak up the inside here, maybe.
Car left. Clear left.
You're on the left.
Car left side. Clear left. Clear start. Okay, on the left side. Still there. Hold your line.
Oh.
Still there, hold your line.
He's still there. seconds. Henry, he's still there. Still there.
It's all about survival early on.
Still there. Still there.
On the right, 3 wide. Car on the
Oh.
left, 2 wide.
Bit of grass there that almost killed us. I'm certainly not worrying about trying to be too aggressive too early. Got a good exit, then just had nowhere to go. So I'm not going for any stupid dives or anything just yet. It's good fun though. Got to concentrate.
Car number 17, and their rating is 1.6.
Alright. You got to sort of try and use the curbs here in a few places. Just got to be careful about which ones you go to use. And it's really those sort of rubbered lines on the inside are the ones you've got to be sort of careful of. And getting on the power, you know, on a curb or something like that, that's what's really going to hurt. See if we can set up a move here. Where he's carved at the inside then.
On your right. Right side's clear. You're on the right. Incident. Light sheep in. You think it might be? Oh, the leader has just done a 154.03. On your left. Still there. Still the clear left. You're on the left. Come on, that's the stuff.
Alright, a couple of spots we picked up already.
9.1.
Happy with that.
14. The guy in front is Otis, car number 15, and their rating is 1.7.
It's got to be really, really smooth in the wet. Here comes the rain again, so that's going to probably keep the track wet. We're already 18 seconds off the lead, but that's just trying to be cautious there early on. Oh, almost went too deep.
There's an incident in Adelaide. It looks like Henry.
Think about slowdowns around here. You pick one up or pick up a slowdown around here. It's not really going to cost you because it just takes forever to get on the power.
13. It counts now 0.41.
We're covering the inside here. It's almost like you want to use the outside of this corner, I reckon. That's where the grip is. And he knew that, Ross, so he moved out there himself.
You passed this lap for Clark, 153.48.
Just set the fastest lap. 53.481.
Left car left.
Oh, he was going to cut me off then regardless. And he got to slow down as a result. But he was going to cut me off regardless then.
Clear right.
I had to get my nose out of there.
Double end on lap 23. Brilliant. Nice one. The guy in front is Lord, car number 16. Their rating is 1.6.
Alright, well, we're moving up the field. That's what we are trying to do. Yeah, in the wet jet. Jace, it's actually pretty good fun. It's just, you know, you're one moment away from disaster. That's about the only problem with it. So, you know, you lock up or, you know, break a little bit deep, and that's all it costs you. Okay, the rain report is changing, so it's going to be interesting if a dry line forms, if it doesn't rain anymore. Got up the inside there a bit too much. Again, you know, the big problem with the wet is those rubbered and white lines. You know, so you can use the curbs. What you want to try and do is use it with minimal inputs. You know, very little accelerator or brake. Almost a bit too wide then. Use the outside of this curb. Or turn, I should say.
You passed this lap for Clark, 152.82.
Just set the fastest lap. 52.25.
It's good though. First wet race that I've had. I think I did one in week 13 at Oran Park, but that was just a muck around race. It's the first strength of field that's been wet. I mean, I know that there's been wet races all week for a few of the boys and that doing the officials through the week, but I haven't had much of a chance. But also being a bit of an obscure track, I don't know what sort of numbers we've had.
The gap to Henry behind is increasing. It's now 1.3 seconds.
All right. So at the moment, it's going to be about if a line comes up that's dry. Might have a look at the fuel strat too. Again, you know, I haven't done barely any practice this week. I mean, I had a couple of attempts at the track guide that when my motion and failed, and then I was having issues with my shifter as well. So I haven't really sort of sat down and worked out the math. I pretty much jumped on for half an hour's practice before this race started, and that was it. Still there's a bit of rain. I mean, that's the thing. If we can survive, we might pick up a few more places from the faster guys, because it definitely is. You know, if you make one tiny little mistake, that's what's going to cost you around here.
That's your fastest lap today.
We are catching him. Probably start going a little bit deeper there, but it's going to be one of those things that if I do it, it'll be the death of me.
Blue car ahead.
Sorry guys, I'll have a look at you. Try and have a look when I get a chance, but it's a bit hard with everything going on to keep an eye on all of your comments. We are making up a bit of time though.
The leader just did a 54.143.
Fastest lap for Santos, 152.6.
Ferrari P4 just set the fastest lap. 52.674.
Get to do this in SRW. I'm sure we will. They'll probably limit the amount of actual wet races we have, because I know that some people will struggle rendering it and getting their PC to sort of perform and give them a decent amount of FPS.
Stop the inside, Andrew.
Let me through.
Clear left.
Thanks, Darren. Didn't have to.
But
Come on, Andrew.
Well, that's the idea, Luke, if I can, but still got to try and push a little bit.
The next car is Williams, car number 11.
Oh. She's still pretty slippery out here, though. Hard enough in the dry, let alone the wet, yeah. She's a bit of a tricky track, and as I said, guys, I do apologise for not getting a track guide out this week. I had so many issues with my motion. I was getting a bit depressed there. You can ask my teammates. They know what it was like when I jumped on and thought I had it all working, and then it didn't want to work again, and that's the sort of stuff that deflates you when you think you've got it worked out and it still doesn't want to work. So hopefully I've found the solution, but I suppose we'll see. It's working at the moment, so I'm going to enjoy it while it is. I mean, the other thing you're going to see too is the people that have gone a bit hard and lit up their tyres. Even in the wet, this place still uses up rubber. I think I did 10 laps in practice before, and my rears were at 79%, so you're using about 2% a lap even in the wet. So it's just something you've got to be careful of. At the moment, I can't see any sort of dry line appearing. Everyone's still got rooster tails, and effectively that's what we're looking out for. The moment those rooster tails start disappearing, that's when we're going to look at trying to get on the slicks. I don't know if that's going to happen around here because it's overcast. There's not a lot of sun, so there's nothing really to dry the track out.
The gap to Lord behind as he cricks it. It's now 2.9 seconds.
Yeah, I'm trying, man. I'm going to go a little bit deeper here. A little bit skatey. But I'm not going to move my bias just yet because I don't want to start locking fronts. Start sort of trying to use a bit of those curbs there. Outside of this corner. Because when you get to the inside, there's rubber and it makes it really slippery. It's hard to get on the gas there. Starting to sweat because I thought the fan might have not been working quite as good as it was before, but that's because there's a four-legged bulldog in front of it at the moment, blocking it from me. I suppose it makes it realistic, doesn't it? All right. Skatey there. Alright, so we've got about 3.5 seconds or so to these guys in front.
Williams ahead is now 3.5 seconds.
We just caught up a little bit of time, I think. Thanks, man. Didn't cost us too much then. Still lighting up those rears, so I've got to be careful.
Thanks, Pete.
Well, you've got to take those curbs there, so, you know.
0.926.
You know, so, you've got to brave them at certain points around this track. Alright, so I'm going to have a look at fuel strat soon. A few cars up ahead of us here. It is one of the things, like the lines you take, apart from staying off the curbs and that a bit more, you know, your brake markers and your, you know, your lines are very similar in the dry and the wet. It's just, there's a few spots where you just got to be careful and brake inside. But as for your braking markers, I mean, I'd probably bring them back about 5 metres in the wet. But that still gives you an idea, at least you've got a good idea of where you can sort of, you know, brake. Going good. Alright, we are going good at the moment, so 17 to go, so we're probably going to look to pit in a few, but I'd say we're going to stay on wets. There's no point going to slicks at the moment. What we might do is look at extending this stint. But you've got to be careful because I'm sure your tyres are going to start to take a caning. Yeah, well, with more rain about, there's not going to be, it's not going to be dry tyres. Or get off that curb. I'll have a look at our tyres in a minute. Well, I can't see the percentage, but I just want to make sure I've got wet selected. I was thinking about trying it to dry based on what was happening, but I think we're just not seeing the track dry out at all here. Not seeing any dry line. Wrong percentage, wrong one.
That lap time was 154.
Okay, we got him as wet so far, which is good.
All right, Andrew. That's good consistency. Keep it up.
Oh, we got a bunch of cars here.
The gap is now 1.7. You've used half your fuel.
That's the corner that wants to rotate the car if you get the shift wrong. And get on the power too early there, that's what it wants to do. You're really trying to straighten the corner out as much as you can.
The leader just did a 53.982.
Good fun so far though. I am enjoying this. Don't know how well I'm going to enjoy it if I fuck up, but nah. Looks like Peter's in the pits, unfortunately. Alright, trying to get a bit of a run on them there. We're 28 seconds off the lead. So definitely not in our playbook. Oh, we're starting to get into the spray now. Definitely my scary corner, this one.
The gap in front is now 1.6 seconds.
Alright, see if we can do something about these boys, eh? And I'm glad I took it easy then. That curb would have been diabolical.
Go inside now.
He's still there.
Keep to the right.
Clear left.
Clear on the left.
Car
on
left.
your left.
There's an incident here.
You've got a
Adelaide,
slow
if you
car
can
on the
hold.
left.
Clear left. Okay, Andrew. The next car is Haynes.
Alright,
Car
good.
number
That was a good move. I'm happy with that. We've got 14 to go. I think of one or two more before we pit, maybe. Because I don't... Maybe we don't need to pit. I don't know. I didn't think about that, actually. It's telling me I got 31 litres left. I'll work this out in a minute. We're using about 3.5. Oh, someone got tagged.
Like it's bold.
Maybe.
Left, clear left.
Clear on the left. 55.5.
E9. Okay, Andrew. You're in halfway home. You think about 8 laps remaining on this tank.
8 laps.
Magny Cours, you think it might be dumped.
Oh, it hasn't got auto fuel on, that's why it's not showing it. Let's put auto fuel on. That's better. Okay, that's better. So it's telling me to put 19 in. Well, that's an extra lap, so probably 16, maybe 17 is what we need.
We have to P7 ahead is increasing. It's now 2.9.
I mean, we've still got rooster tails. I can't see it drying out enough for slicks. And we're still doing 53s, so it's not getting any drier. Oh, I'm thinking maybe one more.
Eighth place. You've just done a 155.50.
I had a shit lap then because of the trying to set the auto fuel on. I got 12 to go.
Car ahead is Christopher, car number 10.
Put a bit of pressure on him, see if he make a mistake. I think it's time to pit though.
All right, Andrew.
1,
Looking
2,
to the
3,
end of the
2,
race.
1. Right here.
Left front 86%. Right rear 68.
We're done. Get
Car
going.
behind's pitting.
I've got to be careful, cold tyres.
It takes it is clear. Push now. number 60, and their rating is 1.6.
Oh! Fucking hell. I think I'm... It might have been my fault then because I just lit it up. But get a 4X out of it. Oh, it was my first incident.
Okay, Andrew, the next car is Volt. Car number...
He is one of the guys I was looking at before, though, with a high ping. So that might have been the fault then, too. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure I just lit it up. Cold rubber.
The car behind is closing on you. The gap is 2.5 seconds.
Oh. That's probably cost us fucking 10 seconds or so. Oh. I was enjoying that 0X too. It certainly doesn't like cold tyres at all, man. Not cold, wet tyres, that's for sure. We might move that bias back forward again. So that cost us like 8-10 seconds, that incident. So far I haven't got out of any of these weeks without one of those sort of things. That was probably my fault. We'll see if I can make it up in pace. Oh.
Chili's, mate?
That's better.
The leader is running 53.256.
You say you're getting up and run.
Probably, that's probably cost me a chance at a battle. Still got Rooster Tails, so there's 3 people that have stayed out. This could have been one of those races. I could have maybe been fighting up the front if I had qualified. Note to self-qualify on race setups in the wet, maybe.
Okay, Andrew, there's a car exiting the pits, heads up. Gap to car number 18. Behind is increasing. It's now 1.0 seconds. Your lap time was 1:53.77.
These are the guys, oh, don't get to that. These are the guys that I passed before. So that one little mistake. Well, that's what mistakes do, I suppose, don't they?
The guy in front is Christopher, car number 10. You're reeling, Christopher, in. The gap's now 1.7 seconds.
Certainly he's tricky in the wet. And wet and cold tyres, so that changeover is pretty diabolical. But I said, I don't know if it's sort of one of those ones where you could have stayed on the same tyres because, you know, like mine was down to 69% then or something. It's good fun though. I am enjoying it because it's quite a challenge. I mean, a bit different from some of the other wet races where you can really see the puddles. I don't think that this sort of track has got heaps of puddles and that on it. It's just been steady rain, so I mean you can see like still massive rooster tails. So you know, no way are we going to you know, go out on slicks and this stuff. Even though it actually, it's funny, the track doesn't look much different to when it's dry and this cool temperature, like an overcast day like this. I mean, although this is an old F1 track, it's fairly new to iRacing. I think there's the Gen 2 cars, I think we only ever came here once for officials. I think we did it a couple of times in SRW.
Santos, car number 6, is leading the race.
Those boys are running along. I wonder if, I don't know if you can fuel save and get around here and get around it without a stop. Oh, don't go on wide like that. That's my first off track. But we just gave away half a second.
Is now on primaries.
Clark going for dries, is he? That's interesting. There's still pretty good rooster tiles out there, so I don't know if he's going for dry tyres. That would be interesting. We've got plenty of time behind us by the looks of it. Alright, we have 6 laps to go. We got 4.6 seconds to the car in front of us.
The leader's
The leader,
pitting now.
Santos, is pitting.
Actually got a half decent exit then out of that corner. Normally you'd use that curb, but not in the wet. I'm not going out there in the wet. Get down the power a bit better there.
Clark, car number 7, is now leading.
Blue car ahead.
That's half fuel. You've used half your fuel. Fastest lap for Haynes, 152.10.
P8, just set the fastest lap. 52.105.
Okay, Andrew, you're reeling, 10th position. The gap is now 3.6 seconds.
Oh, took a second and a half out of him that lap.
Stay sharp.
Braved the curve there a little. Trying to get a good run. Unfortunately, would have had a really good race safety-wise too. Safety rating-wise without that little hit. And unfortunately, it's sort of one of those ones where I just lit it up. Got a slide going and there was a car there. I couldn't do much about it. We'll have a look at it at the end of the race.
Fuel left.
New fastest lap for Clark, 150.06.
P1, just set the fastest lap. 50.058.
That's quick.
Car 7, jump the front.
Car didn't want to get the power down then.
Santos, car number 6, is now in the lead.
Well, they're having a bit of a battle. Get up that curb, Andrew. Oh, we got 4 laps to go. Got 4 laps worth of fuel, so that's good. Yeah, I knew I got my line wrong then.
Keep it within the track limits. You have 6 incident points.
Hopefully there's enough corners here that 6 will still mean that I get some safety rating back.
The leader did a 50.544. Car 6 has taken the lead. It's now a dry session.
There you go. Just saying it's a dry session now, so no more rain. Rooster tails is still there though. So it might have been Clark deciding to go dry tyres and that cost him. We're closing in. P10 at the moment. That'd be a decent result from where we were. Started P20 this race. Not that there's anything wrong with P11. Yeah, it is. But you can still see the rooster tails. So, you know, even though the spotter has declared it a dry session, when you see rooster tails, it, you know, it just, you're still throwing up water. So, you know, slicks, you'd have no grip at all.
There's an incident in Adelaide. Looks like it's Williams.
Two more, let's go.
It's your fastest lap for Santos. 48.82.
Supercar in P1, just set the fastest lap. 48.816.
I don't think Peter will hold him up here, but it'll probably help if he does. Cleared it a dry session.
The gap to Christopher.
Your
Ahead is
clear,
clear
left
left.
side.
Quick left. 2 to go.
Oh, that cost me. Just caught him at the wrong spot then. He was trying to get out of the way of me, but he would have been better off just continuing. I'll see. I don't think I've got enough of a speed advantage to catch him. I did have it down to 2.5 seconds. It's now 4.5.
The gap is 4.3 seconds.
Ah, that's what happens. Traffic does. Yeah, I can't really see the dry line, man, though. Like, you know. Like, even on the, like, through here.
180. It looks like Harrison.
I mean, there it should be dry, this part here. And you're still seeing water.
New fastest lap for Clark. 147.62.
The car in P2, just set the fastest lap. 47.621. You have about 2 laps of fuel left.
But obviously, I haven't had much experience driving in sort of mixed conditions. Oh yeah, it is a bit dry out there.
Now in the lead.
No, so you can still see rooster tails. They even come out of that corner there. Not as many, oh granted. You can see it's starting to get dry here.
White flag, 1 more lap to go.
But I don't think it was really dry, weather for dries, but a few of those boys went as long as they did. Trav's up in P3, so wonder if that's what he's done. I'll have to ask him after the race. Well, at the moment, it reckons we're going to lose 2 iRating. It's where I've been the last few weeks. I've either lost a shitload, or I've sort of, you know, minimised the damage. And again, another poor qualifying effort tonight. But the moral of that story is don't go out on a setup you haven't driven before, because that was just horrible. The car was so light in the rear that I couldn't control it. wet out there
You have
still.
about 1 lap of fuel left.
That cost us a bit.
Good race, everyone.
Supposed to wait till everyone finishes, Trav. Oh, looks like P11 is where we're going to be. We just missed out on P10. Unless he makes a mistake here on the last corner.
Good race there, Lewis. Simon, good race, mate.
I don't know if you can hear me. I'm a fan of the guys, but I told you about some straight of all day.
Oh, there we go. P11.
Finish. Good result, mate. Well done.
Checkered flag, checkered flag. Bring it back to the pits. We're going.
Woo. Certainly a crazy race. Yeah, look, just that one mistake, Luke, again. And, I mean, you know, generally it doesn't cost much, you know. You make one little mistake and that'll be, you know, that was the difference between sort of battling with Chris and Vlad and maybe even David. Baxter up there in 8th, so, you know, again. I don't really care where I come, but it would have been good fun to be battling the second half of that race because the first half was really good fun. And of course, I'm just going to do the full return, but I'm not going to pull into the pits though because, I think last time the black flagged me when I pulled into the pits. I can't remember. No, it was on the quali. It's also always better doing a few extra corners just to keep your safety rating down. But I mean, I can still feel the car sliding around. It's probably more the tyres are shot now. And I'd say everyone's finished the race now. And so still got rooster tails. You can see sort of places where it's starting to dry out. Oh, well there, I'm out of fuel. Alright. So let's have a look at the results. Oh, let's have a look at the incidents, I think, first. So let's go back to the start of the race. TV2. We just had nowhere to go, and I didn't really want to risk anything and do anything silly right at the start of that race. So it is here on. I was trying to stay up the inside of that orange car, but I probably had a bit more pace than a couple of these guys, but just nowhere to go. Sort of, especially up in coming up here, I got on the gas good exit, but just had nowhere to go. Let me turn, wrong one. Let me turn this one down first. And we'll go back to the start so that I can have a look at the incidents, see if there was any at the start. Alright.
Oh, hey,
Right.
You're still around. Sorry about lap 1. I fucking got all kinds of crossed up and actually bumped my pit limiter as I came out of the corner.
Oh no. Okay, we'll mute them. Alright, so that was a bit of a moment there. Dylan Harrison just looping it round. That was Vlad going deep. Okay. Oh, geez, that was a tap. It's pretty good though. He did well to avoid that then. Oh, out on the marbles. Yep, that was always going to be dangerous. Oh, did well. Killed his car though. Getting out of the way of that other driver. Alright. Oh, too much rear lock. That hurts. That was Peter. Oh, a bit of a slide around the outside. That is a great recovery. Who's that? Dave Douglas. Great recovery, man. Wow. Alright. Oh, that was another moment for Vlad. See, he had 2 moments and he still beat me. Michael Sands lighting it up. Is this on slicks, maybe? I'm not sure if they went for slicks or not. That's an off track there. Okay, Roy, what? Oh, did well to cover that. So is that slicks? Could be. These boys, I think Brave slicks early on in the race. Oh, sorry, late in the race. Oh, looped it at the finish. Nah, it's a little off track. I think maybe the fact those guys are on slicks, maybe. That was Dylan Harrison in 18th. Oh no, we're still going. This is lap 23, we're still going. It was 32 laps, I think. 34. Just crossing it up. Doing well, those boys. There's a white flag for a finish. Or is that... That's Ben dying. And that looks like it. So that might have been on the last lap. Alright, well, yeah, look, it was a good race, I enjoyed that. I mean, you know, again, make another mistake that tends to, you know, they're the things I've got to get out of my racing. But, again, look, I'm here to have a bit of fun. And I was hoping for a wet race tonight for something different. And I think it certainly came out. Alright, so let's have a look at results. Alright, oh, there we go. So I got 0.1 safety rating. And I got 7 iRacing. Roy Clark was our winner. Best lap of 147. So I think that he must have gone on to dries, because the rest of us, yeah, 151 on wets maybe. Yeah, I can't see that being a wet weather tyre. So I think Roy and Michael both ran long and sort of managed to, you know, do drives for the last sort of 5 laps. Vlad was the car that I tagged. So unfortunately, I probably could have picked up another point, you know, 3 or 4 without that little bump. And I didn't show that replay. I should have had a look for it. But anyway, we'll be finished almost a minute behind. Simon Hayes finished 6th. I know Simon. Trav makes teammate with a podium. Nice. Peter Simmons had a bit of a rough one, so does Saz. I think Ben I've raced against as well. We only had 2 splits. So we have a look at split 1. It was Jared Philsell that took out the win. With Rayhan Lineage, they probably, and it looks like Philsell led the whole way. Yeah, he led the whole race. Madison down with a P3. So good to see a few of the big wigs really getting in and racing the officials on a Monday night. Richie Stanaway as well, P5. Brian Borg was that P10. Who else to get in there? Chastanow. Any other names? No, other big names that I recognise. Did see Brody Kostecki's at Shell at the moment, so I doubt he's got time to be doing sim racing at the moment. But there we go. I really enjoyed that night. Yeah, well done to Simon too. I think so. You know, he's you've had some good pace out there, man. And I was hoping it was going to be a rainy race, and it was, just for something different. And plus, you know, I think I did one of the Oran Park, you know, wet and wild ones in week 13, but hadn't actually done a wet race. So I'm happy. One little mistake that cost me 4x and about 10 seconds. So otherwise, might have been in the hunt for a couple more places, but P11, I'll take that from P20 after stuffing my quali completely. Alrighty, everyone. Thanks very much for watching. Of course, if you are enjoying the content, please give me a like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Again, I apologise for not getting out the track guide for Magny Cours. Just issues with my rig. Had it apart for a few days trying to fix things. The motion worked well then, so hopefully that's a good sign. But I'll be back on to do the next track guide. I'll have a quick look and see where we are at next week. What's the schedule? Indianapolis on the road course. Wow. Okay, that is going to be a beast in these cars. I think it's going to be so tricky. Again, you know, still really no idea what to do with setups. I'm just running the VRS setups at the moment. But I don't know if I'm a fan of that quality one, Madison. That was a bit light in the rear. Anyway, guys, thanks very much for watching. I'm glad your triples went good, Simon. Yeah, everyone, hope you've had a great night and enjoyed the race. And we'll see you for the next one. This is Cowy Average Sim Racer signing off. We'll catch you later.